If someone has a common interest and a comment like, oh, I saw there's a new exhibit at insert museum here. So it's not asking me out, but it's always suggesting that we could go together. I'm going to ask a controversial question, which I would love for you guys to answer in the comments. Who do you think should ask someone out? Do you think it should always be the man? Do you think it can be the woman? Do you think it should be either or? Because I think people have quite a heated debate about that. And it is in keeping with the theme of my video today, which is about dropping the hanky. So you may be asking, what the heck does it mean to drop the hanky? And this is a term that comes back from the Victorian era, where women would have handkerchiefs and they would very subtly just drop their handkerchief near a gentleman they were interested in order to open up conversation. So the said gentleman might pick up the handkerchief and say, excuse me, kind damsel, you dropped your handkerchief. And then that would be an icebreaker for a conversation, which would probably lead to marriage, a family, and happily ever after. But I don't know about you ladies, I don't carry handkerchiefs, I carry tissues, and it would be kind of weird if I dropped a tissue on the floor and someone picked it up and then gave it back to me. I asked the internet, I asked the men on my Instagram and the women, like, what is the modern day equivalent? And I got some pretty interesting answers that I would love to share with you and see what you think in terms of like, how can we hint to people we're interested in that we are receptive and open to be approached, we would like to be asked out, and especially bringing this into real life and also onto online, because of course, like doing things like a cheeky like might be a hint, obviously. So we'll be talking about this in relation to digital and IRL. So number one is body language and eye contact. So someone said to me, honestly, this is a very tough question. Pushing the hair behind the ear is a classic. I feel like I can generally just tell when a woman is interested in me. It's free flowing, engaging conversation, she's laughing at my terrible jokes, eye contact and smiling. Another man said, consistent eye contact or a smile should signal interest, but these days a lot of men either don't or can't read signs, or they flat out are just too shy to cold approach a lady. This is an interesting one because, so eye contact is coming up a lot, but in terms of not being able to read signs, I think it is becoming harder because, nowadays everyone's got like their headphones on or their, head is just in their phone all the time. Like, that saying about like, oh, her head was in the clouds. It's like, no, her head was in her mobile phone. And it is becoming harder to just engage in conversation with strangers. Like, I feel in my grandfather's day, he would just say hello to everyone. My friend's parents met at a bus stop, actually. Can you imagine just starting up a conversation with someone randomly at a bus stop these days? So in defense of this, saying that, a lot of people can't read signs today, I think it's becoming so much harder because we just live in a very like isolated bubbles. Like, we go around living our lives attached to these like tiny computers, and it's just harder to actually have those natural interactions. The next guy said, a smile and a number if in public has always worked for me. A positive, even flirty comment works better. Okay, so being flirty, smiley. Number two is physical proximity. So this guy said, let's say you see a cute guy at a coffee shop, figure out a way to sit close to him so you're within his field of view. I like this. This is strategic. So this is like, okay, you see a cute guy at church, you see a cute guy in your coffee shop, you see a lovely lady in the library. Just make sure you're in the line of vision because you want to already just be in their sphere of interest, because it's like, okay, we can see this and you're in their proximity. And this has happened to me at church before where like I've seen a cute guy, but I'm sitting behind, so he can't see me. He has no idea I exist. I actually need to go forward so that he can see me, but then I wouldn't be able to see him. So how many lovely men have sat behind me and I had no idea? Who knows? Number three is show interest. A perhaps much more obvious one, this person says, would be if someone has a common interest and a comment like, oh, I saw there's a new exhibit at insert museum here. So it's not asking me out, but it's always suggesting that we could go together. Again, I like this strategy, which is like, I'm just going to throw it out there like, oh, yeah, I saw there's this really nice exhibition at this museum. It's like, I'm not saying outwardly, can we go out? But I'm throwing it out there like, oh, this is quite interesting. So yeah, dropping that hint is nice. Next person has said, show interest in their football team, their favorite show, their favorite band, whatever interest. Even if it's kind of forced, it's a big clue. So again, I think if you are showing interest in something which maybe isn't a natural hobby of yours, that's kind of a really good hint, because it's like, oh, explain to me about bird watching, and maybe you don't even like birds, but you know, it's just showing that like you're interested in it, so I'm interested in it. So that's quite a nice modern dropping the hanky. And then another guy has said, don't be afraid to talk to him first about something completely unrelated and non-professional enough that it takes it to mean you like talking to him. If he wants to pursue you, that should be a chance. So I suppose by this comment, it's like, don't necessarily feel you only need to talk about everything that's being spoken about. If you're like colleagues or your friends in a friendship circle, for example, you can talk about something completely unrelated. That just shows that you're interested in that person's perspective and opinion on it. So I like that again. So that was showing interest. Number 4 is consistent communication. So this person said, when messages like this become frequent, good morning, hope you have a good day, and God continues to guide and protect you, or they check on your well-being, or in public it would be continuous eye contact followed by a smile throughout an event. And he said this was before social media. So, okay, consistent communication. So are you texting this person a little bit more than maybe you text just an average friend? Because that might give them the hint that you want it to be something more. So having some sort of consistency. Number 5 is drop hints. So the main issue, this person has said, I see, is not knowing when it's an appropriate time to approach a woman. When do women like being asked out? This man has asked. So drop hints, please. It makes me feel much more confident in asking someone out because I know I'll be able to plan a nice date that we both enjoy. Another guy has said, if he doesn't pursue you straight away, don't be afraid to invite him somewhere that isn't fully a date, but is exclusive enough in terms of attention to pique his attention. So again, it's kind of being a little bit strategic here of, okay, he's not asked me out. Maybe I can invite him to like something that's kind of casual. Maybe it's a group thing, just to give him a little bit of a, I might be interested in you, and to drop that hint so that he knows, oh, maybe she wants me to ask her out on a date. So again, it is all about strategy, but I'm not saying that in a manipulative way, just in a way that encourages the other person to know that you are open to being invited, you're open to being asked out. So I think it's really about helping to encourage the person that you're crushing on, to let them know that, you know, this is a receptive space. But also in a way that if they're not interested in you, then it allows them to just not pick up the hint. You're dropping it and they might not pick up what you're putting down, but you can try. Number 6 is give him space to be chivalrous. So some of these guys said, give a man a purpose or role. It can be subtle, but seeking advice and accepting help is really helpful. And I will say I've played this card before. I drive most places and sometimes I have to park like far away. So I'll say something like, oh, you know, do you mind just walking me back to my car because I parked a few roads over? And that like, it's giving the guy a purpose, giving him a role, and enables you guys to have an opportunity to talk together one-to-one, but in a casual kind of setting. So I agree with this, you know, kind of giving that role. I have also had a flat tire before, speaking about cars. And the kind of, you know, rom-com meet cute desire in me was like, maybe my future husband will be like, oh my gosh, you have a flat tire, can I help you? And I'll be like, yes, please. And then we get married and have children and live happily ever after. That's not what's happened. Most times I just have to call AA and they come and do it. But another guy has said, don't offer to pay half of the bill if you want this to be seen as a date. So I think that is really interesting. I would love to hear your comments on that. I personally am of the opinion that whoever invites should pay. So if a man invites me for dinner, I would like to think, and I'd be very grateful, that he just picks up the bill. He'll maybe ask for my opinion on where we should go, or my favorite cuisine or something. But I would love to hear your opinions. So please leave a comment and see what you think. If you guys have any other suggestions, please drop them down below and let me know what you thought of this video, if it's helpful to know just how we can try to let our crush know that we're crushing on them. And for more dating and lifestyle content that's based on our Christian faith, please do subscribe to Salt and check out more videos, and I hope to see you again here soon. Okay, bye.